Hi there guys and welcome to Not Quite Mint. I'm Rich and sadly I haven't got my wingman Tom with us this week to do these weekly reviews. He has obviously sent over a couple of his opinions though, so I'll give them a bit of a mashup. Just so that you're aware guys, this week's top 5 books are going to be Decorum, Thor 4, Kylo Ren, Rise of Kylo Ren number 4, Bounty Hunters number 1 and Cable number 1. So stick with us in a bit and we'll get into it.
This is the future. Evolution.
Welcome back guys, and yes, we're going to get into the reviews of the books that I just mentioned. Most importantly though is that you are subscribed to the channel, you hit that like button down below, and also if you could possibly comment on today's question, which is, at the moment, based on Donny Cates' Thor run, do you believe that Thor is worthy? So let us know your thoughts. If you're not obviously reading that, let us just obviously I recommend that you go back and start reading this Thor run, because I think it's going to be remembered for quite a long time. Also guys, we will have a giveaway. We have got a giveaway running for the month of March. So we'll give you the details of that at the end of the video as well, so do make sure that you stop all the way to the end. As I said guys, I am on my own because obviously Tom is away organising stuff like wedding stuff, so yeah, you've just got me. I've heard a couple of bits and bobs from Tom, what he thought about the book, so we'll obviously I'll amalgamate them because we were in pretty much agreement with this week's books in fairness. But yeah, it's really exciting week, some really good big releases, and you know, as you know, the way that things are at the moment in the world, it's nice to have comics, isn't it? Because they're just a bit of fun that, you know, you can really enjoy them. So, first book that we're going to look at this week, guys, in at number 5 is this new one from Jonathan Hickman, which is Decorum. I'll just obviously pop the sort of cover image up there, but you can sort of see it's this wraparound kind of cover. Very interesting art style. Looks really nice. Obviously we do have a pick of the week as well guys, so we'll get to our pick of the week in a short while as well. But what did I think of Decorum? Well, you've probably heard a lot of stuff going on around Decorum. There's a lot of heat and hype over Jonathan Hickman writing about X-Men and everything, and I'll be honest, this book has stylistically wise has a lot in common with the X-Men sort of stuff. Like there's a lot of this like symbolic kind of stuff that's going on. It's Jonathan Hickman, not Jonathan Hickman, and it's Huddleston. What's his name? What's his first name? Yeah, Mike Huddleston, who is the art on this. But yeah, there's like these big reveal pages. It's an issue 1 and it's building this world for us to enjoy. And yeah, I really like the story. It isn't our pick of the week for a story point of view though. Just because, I don't know, there's certain aspects of the artwork that just let me down a little bit. So if you have a look on that there, you can see you get these really nice like kind of like surreal like kind of washed out images down here, but then you have this kind of like these like a lot of like black and white art. There's not a lot of dialogue in certain bits. It's quite like, you know, when they're talking about the primitive stuff, but there's a real like, it's a very like sort of striking art style. But I do like comics to look like comics, if that makes sense. I don't know if that's probably not fair, but certain bits just made it feel like it was slightly unfinished or something on the artwork, so it just bothered me a little bit. But yeah, you get these like, you know, explaining what's been going on in this universe so that you understand what they're talking about. You know, there's, you know, this breaks down obviously, you know, sort of like a menu order and things like that. But yeah, it's alright. I mean, it goes in quite well. I'm intrigued by obviously this assassin character. Sorry, I don't know her name. And then obviously you've got this girl who's sort of pulled into it. She's like a courier delivering stuff. We're going to see obviously how that develops. I'd probably, it wasn't the best to start, so I'd probably be saying around about a 3.5 out of 5, something like that though. So that is Decorum, our number 5 pick. Next up guys is going to be Cable number 1. So if I just pull that cover up for you, we got Cable #1. Now I went for this black variant because I'm a bit of a sucker for these black cover variants. I don't know why. I don't collect them half as much as the white cover ones as much. Obviously I've got my Amazing Spider-Man 36 up there, obviously slabbed with a Scott Hanna sketch dream mark on there, and I've had that for years and years and years. But yeah, you can see inside obviously the original covers in there as well. So it's just really good artwork on this one. I did really like it. I think, let me get my head around it. So yeah, it's written by Jerry Duggan and Phil Noto with the artwork. I think Jerry Duggan did quite a popular Guardians of the Galaxy run. I think I've seen that in omnibuses and things like that. Haven't read it, but it's all right. It's quite like a campy feeling book. This is. I need to get my head around a little bit, like what exactly is going on, like why Cable's a youngster and all that kind of stuff, and then obviously at the end there's a bit of an ending reveal kind of thing, and then I'm sort of like thinking, hold on, so there's a young Cable, so how does all this happen as well? So yeah, I need to get my head around it a little bit more, but it was a fun story. It was an enjoyable story. Sort of sets the pace. I'm not too sure how many parts are going to be in this, but I don't think it's like, I haven't heard that it's like a 4-part run or 5-part run or anything like that, but I really liked it. The wording's really nice, and as I say, like it's almost like this sort, it's kind of like Alex Ross sort of styled in some respect, with the shading and things like that. It's really nice. But yeah, I was quite I enjoyed that book. Will I carry on reading it? I'm not 100% certain. I'm a bit like that on the fence with Decorum as well. But yeah, I enjoyed that. It's again sort of a 3.5 out of 5 for me. Nothing really to write home about. Next up, guys, what we're going to do is number 3 book is going to be this Bounty Hunters book. Now, it's Star Wars Bounty Hunters. I've been quite excited to read this since obviously I found out that it was coming out. I'm really enjoying obviously all my Star Wars comics at the moment. I'm about halfway through the original run that started in 2015. I think I've got about, including Dr. Aphra, probably around about 40 issues to read, but it's really good. I've done the first like Darth Vader volume. That was my favourite. And obviously with the Mandalorian knocking about at the moment, I was really excited to read about Bounty Hunters. Focuses on a sort of Boba Fett, Valance and Bossk. Obviously Valance, I think he was introduced in that 2015 Star Wars run. I don't think I've came across him yet in that earlier Star Wars run yet. I don't think I've quite got there yet, but really cool characters. They've got like quite a good, the way it's written's really good. I'm not familiar with the writing staff. It's Ethan Sachs and Paolo Villanelli. Great artist shots in here. I mean, like literally, it's pretty much an all action kind of book. If I'm honest, and yeah, that's kind of what I wanted really. There's very little dialogue. It's very quick. It's quite a quick read, but it's very reassuring and good. Yeah, Dr. Aphra does actually pop up in this, which is pretty cool as well. So yeah, I enjoyed this more. This was definitely a solid, probably say around about a 3.5, pushing into like 4 out of 5 for me, or probably around about like a sort of a 7 or an 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed it, but definitely read it. Again, I can't really talk too much about it because like there wasn't a fantastic amount of plot. It was, as you'd expect, they're going out to get a bounty, and hey ho, what are they doing? They're having a lot of fights and collecting a bounty kind of thing. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that kind of evolves, I think, definitely. But very enjoyable book, which means we have in second place is probably, I'm really sad this is coming to an end actually, because I really enjoyed this. This is the end of the Rise of Kylo Ren from Star Wars. It's a Star Wars book again. Unsurprisingly, it's Star Wars. I love Star Wars. I'm not going to not ashamed. I'm not gonna hide it. I've liked them since I was about 3 or 4 years old. So, but yeah, the Rise of Kylo Ren. It's done a really solid. Thing. Sorry, I'll just put the cover up in the corner. You can see it there now. It's done a really solid thing of explaining that fall to the dark side of Kylo Ren. You kind of understand how it came about. You know, you see that level of manipulation that's obviously implied in the Rise of Skywalker film, and this fourth issue actually really does tie in with that mythology set up with the Rise of Skywalker as well. So I was kind of like quite satisfied by that. Probably, I don't think I came across anything that was particularly controversial or world changing in this book, but it was just a good satisfying way that it kind of like brought everything to an end. You understand why Kylo really did go full dark, and became Kylo Ren. It's really good. Excuse me, I am yawning, but yeah, it's really good. Artwork carried on really well. I think it's Charles Soule who's the writer and Will Sliney with the artwork. I don't want to give too much away, but yeah, there's a lot of like, it's very good, you know, for a Star Wars fan like me. I really liked it. It's got the Knights of Ren in there as well, and yeah, so you know they still don't do a great deal. That's a slight spoiler, but yeah, it is really good, and he's obviously like pairing off against these Jedi who are, you know, former Jedi Skywalker's Jedi Temple sort of students as well. Quality read, guys. Quality read. Do check it out, and if you can read obviously all 4 issues, it won't take you very long to whiz through. But if you are curious as to how it all comes to an end, you know, do that. Which brings us to our final book, guys. So, book number 1 is the literal phenomenal Donny Cates Thor run. I cannot fault this run at the moment. I was getting a little bit worried after the last 2 issues because they were just basically you know, big fighty issues, effectively, like where we had Beta Ray Bill obviously fighting Thor in the last one. That was pretty much the crux of that. Excuse me again. And yeah, that was pretty much it. This one pulls the focus back much more to you know, what's going on with Galactus and the eating of these 5 worlds, and obviously the Black Winter coming. You do get like sort of a reveal at the back. I won't. You might have seen it if you're on social media, but the sort of the reveal of the Black Winter is on the final page. But yeah, there's you start seeing a lot of this torment that Thor's going through as well. You know, in terms of being able to, you know, for the greater good, really. But you know, in the process of like destroying all these other worlds, you know, it's just. It's kind of like he's really struggling with that, and there's a really interesting sort of appearance from Loki, and again, you've got to check that out because I'm not what happens with Loki. I'm not too sure it's happened before, but I will have to check it out, and it does tie in with this whole feeling of you know, that you know, holding Mjolnir becoming more of a burden for Thor, and is he actually worthy at the moment? So again, let us know, as I say, questioning of the day. Let us know in the comments down below. We weren't good thing was we weren't sort of like drawn into a massive battle with Sif like we were with Beta Ray Bill, and it got back to much more of that like core sort of story that's obviously evolving throughout obviously within this Donny Cates run. So guys, fantastic artwork, do check it out. It's definitely our pick of the week, and yeah, just go check it out. So then guys, with all the comics and reviews done, it does bring me just to mention to you guys around our giveaway for the month of March. There's basically, we're going to be giving away an NQM crate, so it's going to be the first one that we'll do. Don't know how many more we will give away, so make sure you don't miss out on this. There's going to be 10 comics in the crate, one of which is going to be a Thor #1, so basically it's not going to be any ordinary Thor #1, so it's going to basically be, it's one of the white sketch variant covers, and Tom, because Tom does dabble in a little bit of art himself. He's going to do a hand-drawn original piece of art on the front of that cover for you. So that's going to be the first comic that you can win. The next two are basically our February pick of the months, which is the Batman Detective Comics #3. It's like the Alfred RIP sort of tribute, which was our pick of the month last month. And then our cover of pick of the month last month was DC Unkillables. This Matina cover is going to be that. We've got another 7 comics here, guys, obviously to go along with it, and they're just random ones that we picked out of our NQM long box. If you do want to see all of those being drawn out of there, do check out our monthly comic book review show called The Comic Blend. There is obviously a playlist and stuff, but I'll probably put like the link up above. Now, if you want to obviously be part of this big March giveaway for our NQM crate, you must be subscribed, and you must obviously be giving us those thumbs up on the videos, but also most important in the comments down below. In addition to obviously today's review question, which is Thor worthy, make sure you put the hashtag NQM crate giveaway, and what that will do is that will enter you in our giveaway, which we will draw in our next Comic Blend show, which will come out within the first week or two of April. Alright, so do make sure that you keep on watching the channel, but as I say, really important that you are subscribed. If you can, tap that bell icon as well, because that means that every time we upload a video you're not going to miss it, and you won't miss obviously any of our updates, news, reviews and all the rest of the fun. Next week hopefully Tom will be back. As I say, he's over sorting wedding stuff out, so he wasn't able to be here tonight, but thanks ever so much for you guys being here and all your support so far. Yeah, so it just is left for me to say take care, guys. And if Tom was here, he would say, see ya.
Evolution. This is the future.